His career-long 51, this from 55. The snap is off. It is on the way. It's got the distance. Is able to lean and push the ball across. Watch right there. That's a touchdown. That's a win. That's ball broke the touchdown. Coming down the sideline, Deshaun Spears.
Reed, rush comes. Reed pumps, fires. It is caught.
Welcome in, welcome back. We're the Real Selection Committee. My name's Mike. This is Greg, and we're coming. Week 3 just wrapped up. What an awesome week! I mean, huge playoff implication games in this. A lot of big matchups. SEC started their schedule of playing each other. There's some big matchups in there. Big Ten had some big games in there. What did you come out from this weekend here?
Well, a lot of teams that we were pretty high on have dropped to 2 losses already, 3 games into the season.
Yeah.
SEC is looking pretty dominant to me. I don't know about y'all, but they're looking pretty dominant. How about Nico and UCLA?
Wow.
What a bad team. They're awful. Texas is struggling bad.
Yeah.
What the heck is going on there?
Yeah.
Maybe we're seeing why Texas kept going back to Quinn Ewers last year.
Right.
But I don't want to come down too hard on Arch Manning. He's still a young kid.
Right.
A lot of season left. And a team we would never mention on the show, I would just like to give a little mention, and they probably would deserve a Buckeye sticker. Old Dominion knocks off Virginia Tech, and basically Virginia Tech said, "Coach, get out of here. You're terrible." So, I mean, just some fascinating stuff. The season is going crazy already.
Yeah.
You know, if the group of 5 teams in Notre Dame don't circle the wagons fast, SEC could get 5 teams in that playoff.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you know, when you're looking at some of these group of 5 teams, they're not even in the top 25 ranking right now with South Florida losing and getting knocked out. Now, I mean, how is this panel going to react to, you know, these group of 5s? Are they guaranteed a spot in the playoffs?
Here's what I'd like to say right away. And, you know, if we want to talk about quality wins, yes, South Florida got their doors blown off this past week.
Right.
But who's got 2 better wins than South Florida, beating Boise State and Florida? Okay, you can say, well, Florida has lost 2 games.
Right.
But South Florida beat both of them. What, you that impressed by Alabama beating Louisiana Monroe and then a Wisconsin team that's going to be lucky to win 5 games this year?
Yeah.
Yes, I'll give Alabama. They look very good. But what'd they do in the opening week again?
Yeah, they got mopped up
by
Florida State.
And we don't know what Florida State is yet because they were on a bye last week. So hold the phone right now.
Yeah, it seems like the ACC's kind of flipped a little bit because, you know, wow, we were super high on Clemson, and they just don't look like the team that we thought coming in with all that returning production, all those kids coming back. Klubnik's struggling, trying to find his way out there. They got no running game here. I mean, they're going to have a tough time climbing back into these playoffs.
Well, and the one thing I noticed looking at the game stats, their running back actually had a decent game this week. But, you know, I had the defense of Clemson being the problem. Right now, the offense looks like the problem. And the defense looks like they're the ones that should have been ranked in the 60s.
Yeah.
But, hey, on we go.
The other team, Notre Dame. I mean, 0-2, and your 2 biggest wins on your 2 biggest games on your schedule, you have lost now.
Yeah.
They got the biggest uphill climb to get back in.
The thing I'll say for Notre Dame is they played 2 really good football teams to start the season off. And we're in both games. And to be honest with you right now, if ESPN didn't have the referee crew in their pocket yesterday, Texas A&M loses that game because their guard or center, whoever it was, absolutely tackled the guy from Notre Dame. That was the definition of holding and nothing.
Yeah, it was definitely a tackle for sure.
Come on.
For sure.
No way y'all missed that.
Yeah. So one quick question before we dive into the this last weekend schedule. Just recap. So who's kind of your favorite SEC school right now? Because it's kind of a, the big teams right now. You got Oklahoma in there, and Georgia, surprising win. Who do you have as a team?
Well, I don't know if I'm the guy to ask, because I was the one that said that South Carolina and Florida were obviously locks in the playoffs. And right now, I don't know if they're even going to sniff the postseason, and Texas doesn't look very good. But if I had to say from what we've seen so far, I still have to stick with LSU. They beat Clemson. Yes, Clemson is down, and they just beat Florida. Those are two pretty good wins, and I have to say LSU's the best team in the SEC as it sits right now. I would say Texas A&M's got to get a and we've got a guy who was riding us a while back. He's probably looking, what do you think now, guys?
Yeah.
Well,
probably
right
hear
now,
from you. We definitely let us hear about it.
Right now, they look pretty darn good, but I will say this. Last year, they were, 6-0 or 7-0?
They were 6-0 until they got in the SEC schedule.
What happened? So hold the phone on that, but I'll give Texas A&M the credit for right now. Georgia, okay, I've got to give them credit to this point. I still don't think they're that good.
Yeah, they should have lost that game with the kicker missing that field goal for their,
And one thing I'm going to say, we know there's a lot of people out there in SEC land talking about how all the other teams aren't playing anybody. You beat Austin Peay 28-6. Zip it.
That's not.
Don't want to hear no more.
Not an impressive win there for sure.
No.
For sure. All right, so let's recap. I mean, this crazy week 3 here. I think it was better than week 1. There was so many crucial big games in here. Some upsets, some big victories. First game let's talk about is Clemson, Georgia Tech. That game there was Georgia Tech won it with that 55-yard field goal right as time expired, 24-21. Now, Haynes King, we talked about him when we went over the ACC, that this kid is amazing here. They're asking this kid to do everything, run the ball, throw the ball. I think he's tackling the guys. I think he's playing defense, too. He's playing so damn good here. Georgia Tech's trouble. I mean, this team is 3-0 right now, top of the ACC, I think.
Well, I don't know that I'd say they're the top of the ACC, but they're there.
Yeah.
And Georgia Tech's always that team that if you don't come to play, just like Clemson found out, and I think it was Miami of Florida last year found out, Georgia Tech will knock you down. And Haynes King, his quarterbacking skills are there, but he's doing it with his legs.
Oh, he
had another game of over 100 yards rushing.
Yes.
And, he's beating good teams. Georgia Tech has a couple. They beat Clemson, and they did beat Colorado in week 1. So they've got a couple of nice wins going. Georgia Tech's a team we were kind of high on. We had them as a kind of a bubble team, outside chance bubble team.
Yeah.
The way this season's going, who knows? They could win the ACC.
Yeah.
We'll just wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good game there. Haynes King, like I said, had 211 yards passing. Most had 100 yards rushing. I mean, this guy was everything. I was impressed with Georgia Tech. I think they showed the grit that you need to maintain and stay up on top of this ACC. Yeah. Clemson right now, they're in trouble.
Well, I'll say this. If you'd have told me that Clemson would get 80 yards out of their running back, I'd have said, they mopped Georgia Tech.
Right.
Well, no. What is going on, guys?
Yeah.
You have the offense, and if your running back plays like that, there's no excuse for
They should win that game, yes.
Okay, and I came into the season doubting your defense. Your defense is keeping you in these games and cold feet. What is going on? There's imposters. I don't know what's happening. Clemson, it's week 3, but I think they're done.
Yeah, they got such an uphill battle to climb there.
Yeah.
And we talked about, is Cade Klubnik going to take that step forward? The last 2 years, he's always gotten better and better. Yeah. This year, he's really flat out there as getting this offense going. Now, I know Antonio Williams has not came back yet. That hurts. That hurts that you don't have your number 1 receiver, but they got Wesco Jr., who actually
Yeah.
had an outstanding
Yeah.
game. But
Had
man,
126 yards. He played. I think he's feeling the pressure. Okay?
Definitely.
I think he is playing under pressure. He is pressing. Settle down. Just go out there and play.
yeah. This this seems like a team that's struggling to find their identity, which we thought coming in they were one of the teams that knew who they were and they were going to be. This was a team that we had in making it to probably the last 4 teams standing in this playoff tournament here. Now, man, I don't know.
I don't see a path. I mean, they're not going to back in like last year because Miami doesn't look like they're going to help them out.
No.
And Florida State looks great. Georgia Tech announced. You forgot about us. We think Louisville's got a strong team.
Yes.
ACC just got awful interesting, folks.
Yep. So let's dive into the biggest game, I think, of the week with the most star power here was Georgia versus Tennessee. What a heck of a game there.
Yeah.
This Tennessee started out, they had that 21-7 lead on them, and it looked like, man, they were going to run over Georgia here. Georgia, we've seen Gunnar Stockton. This is a guy here that we now know that can move this offense. Can throw the ball. He's not just a running quarterback. He's actually a heck of a good quarterback. Georgia climbed back into this game here, 44-41 in overtime. You know, they had that late turnover. Tennessee wanted just to run the ball up the middle and then kick the field goal, and that turned out that the guy pushed it wide right. Missed it. Now we go into overtime here, and Tennessee couldn't get that possession to move it. They kicked the field goal, made it, and then left Georgia to, they ran around got in there, and they pushed it in the end zone and won the game here.
Well, in the fighting game, boxing or MMA, you never leave the game in the hands of the referees, right? Well, that's like leaving the game in the hands of a kicker in college.
Yeah.
And nothing, the kickers usually are pretty solid. But that's a lot of pressure on a young man. And more often than not, when it's game on the line like this, and you're kind of the underdog, your kicker gets so fired up, they push it or hook it. Tough break for the young kid, tough break for Tennessee. Hey, Gunnar Stockton, we gave him props for being a gritty quarterback, 300 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, which is key.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
502 yards of total offense. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, well, of course, Tennessee had 496 total yards. And Joey Aguiar has made Tennessee forget about who's that other guy. Right?
Right.
He's actually come in for a kid nobody knew, and he's playing his butt off.
Yeah.
He did have 2 interceptions, which hurt, but he had 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. I think Aguiar is sending a thank you letter to Nico for moving out to UCLA and him coming here to transfer into Tennessee, and he has looked spectacular.
Best trade.
Yes,
sir.
As his, coming in as the starting quarterback. Like you said, he's from Appalachian State. He's never played in a big stadium like that, and he never got starstruck in this game here. You're playing Georgia, and the kid went in there and just moved the ball. I mean, he had 371 passing yards.
Yeah.
What a heck of performance for this kid. I think Tennessee, we were down on them. Now Tennessee's one of those teams that you could think that they could have something to say in this SEC here. They could be a spoiler for a lot of teams.
Well,
in the
they
SEC.
definitely could. They had 10 penalties, which didn't hurt.
That hurt.
So, but hey, we were down on Tennessee. We said we thought they'd be a decent team. We'll just have to let the season play out. But, I think, to your point, Nico's probably going to get several parting gifts from Joey Aguiar because Aguiar's announced his name, and who knows, he might be moving up the NFL draft boards a little bit with this performance.
Yeah, he's looked spectacular.
Absolutely.
So let's dive in another quick game here. South Florida, the darling team here that's made a big statement by coming in, beating Boise State, and then beating Florida. What a good team they are, but they ran into a buzzsaw. You're high on this team, Miami Hurricanes. Looked like a hurricane went through there. They won 49-12 here. South Florida couldn't get anything going in this game.
Well, you knew it had to happen sooner or later, right? We didn't expect them to beat Florida. and they did. But here's a situation where you beat Boise State. You get up for that, and you beat Florida, and you're riding high, and you run into Miami of Florida, and you're thinking. I was thinking, hey, what if? No.
Yeah.
Miami of Florida came out and said, not in our house, not on our watch. I think this says more about Miami being that good than it says South Florida is a pretender, because South Florida is a good football team.
Sure.
But Miami just ate them up. 576 total yards of offense.
Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah.
You do that, you don't lose.
Like, the biggest question for me was coming off of last year was the defense. Did they improve in their defensive side? And they have shown that they are lights out, a top 10 kind of defense.
Well, their defense isn't going to lose them the game.
Yes.
And that's all this team, maybe that's all they need. Maybe Miami's hunting for a national title game this year, huh?
They definitely.
But season is early.
Yeah.
But, hey, the bad thing is Carson Beck did still show 2 interceptions here. You're going to have to clean that up, but, he's kind of got that team rolling.
Yeah. He had 340 yards passing.
Yep.
Carson Beck stepped in, filled the void of Cam Ward going to the NFL. This team is trouble. This team's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it. They announced we're here this year and we ain't playing games.
Right.
So, hey, let's see what happens.
Yeah. So the next game here is another huge game. Texas A&M versus Notre Dame here.
Wow.
What a back and forth matchup here. How many game changes here, score changes that went on in this game here.
Yeah.
You didn't know who was going to win it. Come down to the last play here.
Yeah.
Like you said, that holding call is what it looked like, but what a heck of a play there, right?
Yeah.
He just tossed it up, and that guy come down with it. That 41-40. That was an awesome game to watch.
Hey, we've never said A&M was a bad team. We've always said Texas A&M will give you trouble. They're feisty. They'll come out and they'll fight to the end. And even though I brought up the penalty to say, hey, hold the phone, I didn't bring it up to say A&M don't deserve credit for hanging in that game when it looked like it could get away from them several times because Notre Dame was up by 10 twice. And Texas A&M kept answering. Marcel Reed's completion percentage wasn't real good, but he did have 360 yards passing, a couple touchdowns. A&M moves the ball really well, 488 total yards. So that'll get it done, eh?
Yeah.
But A&M looked really good last year. And I think we watched them play LSU last year this is going to be the best team in the SEC, and then off the cliff.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens with Texas A&M. They announced, hey, we're still here. We know the SEC is going to be a gauntlet. They added to it. We'll see what happens from here. What a game.
I just want to highlight Marcel Reed. I think this guy is stepping up. Now you had Lenore Sellers getting hurt. You had DJ Lagway look terrible.
Yes,
5
he did.
interceptions. I think Marcel Reed's getting in there as being one of the top tier quarterbacks in the SEC here.
Yeah.
He looked spectacular in this game.
Yeah.
He got banged up a little bit, went out for one play, come back in and drove it in, and they scored a touchdown. He's looking great.
Yeah, he's definitely a talented kid. Like I say, his completion percentage wasn't that good.
No.
But he had 340 or 60 yards passing. He only threw 1 interception. So that's pretty good. He's definitely got talent. A&M's going to be a problem as well. Another team they're not coming out of nowhere, but they are coming from a short track.
Right.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So the other game, next Florida versus LSU here. LSU won 20-10. And we just talked about DJ Lagway's probably the worst game of his collegiate career so far. This kid is a lot better than that. I'm not sure why he was struggling in this game, but he was throwing into double coverage, triple coverage. They had a lot of pressure on him. He just struggled. And when you turn the ball over 5 times, a good team like LSU is going to take advantage of that. And, it was a hard uphill climb after that. for Florida to even kind of get back into the game. You give extra 5 possessions to LSU, a good team like that, with Nessmeyer, stuff like that. I mean, you can't win that game.
Well, I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I've come up with it's got to be the color orange. Because Clemson looking like they don't know what they're doing. Florida, we were high on Florida. I was a lot higher on Florida than you. Florida was a team I thought was a lock for the playoffs. Boy, I look like a fool right now, don't I? But Lagway had a really bad game, 5 interceptions. He'll probably never do that again. Don't want to be down on the kid. These are young men playing. But you cannot do that against a team as good as LSU. You can't do that against a bad team and win.
No.
You don't want to do that against anybody.
Yeah.
But Florida's another team that better find themselves. They're going to find themselves lucky to get to that 7-5 record they had last year. Mm-hmm. And hey, do it for me, guys. I gave you all these props. You can make me look dumb. Stop. But they got to give LSU credit. They came out. They didn't play their best game either.
No.
But they got it done.
They got it done.
Done.
Exactly.
What are you going to do?
One more quick game, and I want to talk about is Vanderbilt versus South Carolina here. Now, Lenore Sellers went out of this game here, but the headliner in this game here is Diego Pavia. I mean, this guy is a gamer. He's almost like Heinz King. He's a Mr. Everything on this team. He scrambles, gets them yards that's needed, moves the chains, makes good plays. He's just a heads-up baller. He's just a good player here.
He kind of puts me in the mind of Baker Mayfield in college.
Yeah.
Just go get it done, doesn't complain. Stats weren't overly great, but he had 2 touchdowns. To your point, he has Vanderbilt believing in themselves. Mm-hmm. Here's another time Vanderbilt plays a team, South Carolina, looking good. Mm-hmm. They got no chance to win, and they win. Vanderbilt likes to wreck people's season. Now, they got a gift with Lenore Sellers going out.
Yes.
Now, they were beating South Carolina, so I don't want to make it out like it was all Lenore Sellers going out. Because Vanderbilt's going to scrap with you.
Yeah,
But, the name of the game to me is Lenore Sellers went out of the game, and South Carolina had 4 turnovers themselves.
Right.
You can't do that. South Carolina, another team I'm very high on, was very high on. I'm going to give them a little more of a pass than I do Florida because you lose Lenore Sellers. You can't afford to lose that guy.
Yeah.
But, 31-7. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, no one saw that coming, I don't think. Now, you could say, hey, I thought Vanderbilt had a shot at beating them. Mm-hmm. I didn't think South Carolina was just going to go in there and run over top of Vanderbilt. I thought they'd win. I thought South Carolina, like Florida, was going to be the talk of the SEC this year. Mm-hmm. I don't know if any of the picks I had for the SEC is going to get in the postseason because Texas looks horrible, too.
Yeah.
So,
just to touch on that, Arch Manning's struggling a little bit in Texas, and not everybody was impressed with that victory, 38-7 over UTEP. You didn't run him out of the stadium, I get, but he's struggling. He'll find his way, I think. Right. He's got more of a season left, and they're going to get into crucial games, and maybe he steps up there.
Well, he's running out of time if you get it fixed.
Yeah.
Granted, I'm going to make this statement right now for all the people in the back of the room that don't hear so well. The name of the game is to win.
Yes.
Okay? And that goes for any team. We were hard on Alabama after their loss to Florida State, but Alabama has come out, and they have played well since.
Yes.
Win the games on your schedule. Arch Manning's winning the games on the schedule. He had them in the game with Ohio State. They didn't get it done in that game, but they were there. If he rights the ship, Texas might be, we don't see the game, so maybe the offense, who knows?
Yeah.
They need to right the ship in a hurry, but you win the games until you get the ship right. So you got to hold on with Texas for a little bit, but if they go into another game that they ought to mop somebody up and they kind of slip by them, well, there's going to be some restless natives in Texas.
Yeah. So that was the highlight games as far as I saw, and I wanted to talk about. We enjoyed that. What a great weekend.
Yeah.
So I talked about, we wanted to form just a quick top 12, basically kind of a playoff, right to date. who we thought were going to be in or something like that. So we looked in and we picked 12 teams out. Now I kind of looked at the AP poll that just came out with the 12 that I have. And so let's just dive into talking about that. The AP poll, number 1 ranked is Ohio State. I looked into their schedules. Right now, as to date, on their schedule, they have 3 ranked teams left on their schedule. Yeah. So they got a little bit of a schedule left to play out here. But without a doubt, I think they're the number 1 team still. I know what it wasn't an impressive win in everybody else's minds, but Ohio University is still a good team. I have Ohio State at 1.
Let me say this. It was, okay, Ohio U is not world beaters. We're not going to come on here and make it out like, hey, well, we beat Ohio U. Ohio U will get in your face. Ohio U is one of the MAC teams that likes to step up and play other teams. Their other loss this year is to what I feel is a decent Rutgers team. By a field goal.
Yeah.
Okay. They beat West Virginia last week. And for those of you in the back of the class that can't see the TV either, West Virginia just beat Pittsburgh yesterday.
Right.
Call me crazy. Ohio State will hang on to the number 1 ranking simply because they were ranked number 1. They won fairly easily.
Right.
And if you take Ohio U's gift interception that gave them a field goal, and you take a long pass that they hit for a touchdown away, what did Ohio U do? 0. It was a dominant. It was as dominating a win that only ended up 37-9, as you're going to find.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do. Ohio U gets the credit. They beat the one-time number 1 team in the nation to begin the season.
Right.
They stay number 1 for me as well.
Yeah. Yes. Number 2 team is going to be Penn State. When I looked at Penn State, what they have left on their schedule, they have another three ranked teams in the top 25 left on their schedule, plus Nebraska. Nebraska's, we always thought, was one of those dark horse teams, but I got to have Penn State at number 2 as well.
I think Penn State's definitely going to end up there. Now, with my ranking, I went with teams and who they beat and gave credit for who they beat.
Sure.
And you will not see a team in my ranking in this that has a loss.
Right.
I'm going to state that right now. My number 2 is Miami of Florida. Argue with me all you want.
Yeah.
There's no argument.
No, I agree. And I went with, like, I'm just throwing out there the AP poll.
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying here. Miami does have, to date, probably the toughest games on schedule today.
Yes. And does this mean, I'm not saying Miami beats Penn State, because I've said I think Penn State wins it all this year. Of course, my words so far this year is meaning absolutely nothing. But
that's why they play.
That's why they play the game. I believe Miami of Florida, as it sits now, and there is a reason that the playoff rankings don't come out till week 7 or 8. These rankings now mean absolutely nothing. But Miami of Florida would be the number 2 for me right now.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right, number 3 AP poll would be LSU. Now, I looked at LSU's schedule. They got 5 ranked top 25 teams, plus South Carolina, who fell out. So they got 6 tough games left on their schedule. That's going to be hard to maintain. You know, I think there's going to be a lot of turnover, but LSU's both sides of the ball is good.
For what they've done to this point, I agree with them at 3. Okay?
Yeah.
They beat Clemson in week 1. Okay. Now Clemson's been what Clemson's been, but that's still a win. That's still a win.
Still a good team. Yeah.
That's a win.
Discredit
and they
that.
just beat a really good Florida team, and I know Florida's another team that's looking not good right now.
Right.
But LSU beat them both.
Yeah.
LSU did struggle a little bit with Louisiana Tech, but hey, Louisiana Tech was sandwiched in between 2 big games. And we all know teams do tend to look past the team. I'm giving LSU that credit for right now. They're my number 3 as well.
Yep. Number 4, Miami, Florida. This could be looking like the best team, you know, as far as teams they played. Better wins, correct. But number 4 is a great position where they need to be at. I agree with them being there.
That's not bad, and I don't disagree with that so much either, as I don't disagree with Penn State being at 2, but I couldn't put them there. My number 4 is Oregon.
Yes.
Oregon has looked damn impressive this year, excuse me for my language. Maybe not so great against Northwestern. We didn't watch the game. Most of the game I saw, they were beating them up. I mean, do you have to beat teams 70-0 to get credit? No. Oregon is number 4. They look pretty good. They look scary. They're my number 4 right now.
All right. Number 5, Georgia Bulldogs. That's the AP poll here. They're still undefeated, 3-0 in the SEC here. That big win against Tennessee is their biggest credible win to date right now. But I agree. I think they're a 5 seed right now. But when I looked at their schedule, there's another team that has 5 games left on their schedule of top 25 right now ranked teams.
Yeah.
So these SEC schools, they have a
Awesome
gauntlet.
football down there in that country. And I'll give Georgia the credit they deserve to this point. And Georgia is not my number 5 team, by the way. My number 5 team is Oklahoma.
Yes.
Okay. They beat a really good Michigan team last
Yes,
week.
they did.
And Oklahoma, I think, is going to roll.
Yes.
But for right now, they got that nice win on their schedule. Everybody's high on this team. I'm putting them at number 5 for now. We all know that SEC can change. Who knows? Vanderbilt might be in here before the end of the year, right? But there's a lot going on in the
It's
SEC.
possible.
But for right now, I got Oklahoma at my number 5.
That's a huge jump for Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I agree. But when I get to them, I'll dive in a little more, and it kind of makes sense where the AP poll has them.
Sure.
But they didn't put them there for that. I can tell you that. The number 6 team is Oregon, the AP poll, which you spoke about them. This team is probably the underappreciated team
Yes.
right now. People are looking past Oregon. Oh, Oregon's they're not good. They're not impressive. They haven't played anybody to date.
Right.
They got Penn State coming up. Oregon has 3 ranked teams in the top 25 coming up.
Yeah.
Got Ohio State, Penn State. They got a tough schedule as far, but they look good.
Yeah, like I said, I had Oregon ranked 4th. My number 6 team, Florida State. They just snot kicked Alabama.
Yes.
And then they went out against a little lowly FCS team and ate them up. Left no doubt. Now, they were on a bye last week, so some people may have forgotten about them. But they're my number 6 team. Will they stay there? We don't know. But for what they've done to this point, I think they fit at number 6.
Yep. Number 7, they moved up 3 spots. Florida State. You just talked about them. The game you can't get out of your mind. It's as impressive as that Alabama game right there. I mean, that put them on the map.
Yeah.
Florida State's.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to.
No. Florida State has that big victory right there. We'll see. They got upcoming tests coming here. Florida State. They got. Now their schedule. They have 1 ranked team on it. Plus they got Clemson and Florida. So they have 3 basically ranked teams here coming up. So they got a battle to go. They'll be tested.
1 ranked team now.
Yes.
Okay, and I will say this. I don't mean to demean anything we're talking about. I don't give a hoot about the rankings until near the end of the season. But this is fun, right?
Yes.
And we're on number 7.
Yes.
I got Texas A&M at number 7.
Yes.
They beat a really good Notre Dame team. Notre Dame's 0-2, but Notre Dame's played 2 really good football teams themselves. Texas A&M hung in that game. They were behind by 10 points twice. They came back and won. That was in Notre Dame, correct?
Yes.
So they did it on the road. They held Jeremiah Love kind of in check a little bit. And let's give Texas A&M the credit they deserve for now.
Yeah, that was
They're a good
impressive.
football team, man.
Impressive win. Yeah, for them to travel to Notre Dame and come out with a win there, and they're a good team here. So my number 8 is Texas. They dropped 1 spot. This is the AP poll, not mine.
Right.
They dropped 1 spot. They're the number 8 team. They're 2-1 record-wise. Left on their schedule right to date. 4 remaining top 25 teams. So they have a tough schedule upcoming.
Yeah.
Can they get Arch Manning going here? Can they right this ship
They
here?
better.
Great defense. Now we're just waiting on the offense to catch up.
And I hope they do. Because I don't dislike Texas in
Yeah.
any way, shape, or form. But, number 8 for me is Penn State. And the only reason they're 8th is because they've played nobody.
Nobody.
Okay, and I'm ranking them for what they've done to
Yes.
now. I'm on record as saying this team wins it all this year, folks.
Yeah.
So, but they are number 8 simply because they have not played anybody of any real value.
Right.
And it's not their fault. They play who's on the schedule.
Yes.
They've taken care of business. They're healthy. Penn State's number 8 right now.
What you're showing is like a panel side.
Yeah.
I'm going with this AP
Right,
poll,
right.
which we're not going to go by. We're going to go by a panel here.
Right.
But I'm just showing you the AP poll if it finished today, where
Sure.
our playoffs would be.
I don't have a problem with that.
Number 9 is Illinois. The Fighting Illini, 3-0. Illini has now their schedule's questionable as how they have. I think they have one top 25 or 2 top 25 teams left on their schedule here.
Yeah.
This is the one where we thought the schedule would work out right for them to make it into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So Illini is number 9 right now in the polls.
Their schedule could change as the Big Ten plays out.
Yes.
More teams in the Big, like the SEC, everybody ranks them right off the rip because it's the SEC. The Big Ten will get more and more teams ranked as play goes on. Teams do this or that. My number 9 is Georgia. Okay, and Georgia just had a nice win over Tennessee. I've been hard on Georgia all preseason. I'm not sold on this team, but I can't look at them and say, I got to dismiss you. They're 3-0. They beat a good Tennessee team, and I don't. They were down by 2 touchdowns at one point in this game, and they came back, showed the heart of a team that wants to win. You can't undersell that.
Yeah.
I do not think Georgia's going to stick around, but for right now, they're number 9, and they're in that SEC gauntlet. We'll see what happens with them.
Yep. All right, number 10, Texas A&M, the biggest mover in this, moved up 6 spots.
Yeah.
Texas A&M, undefeated, 3-0. They looked at their schedule. Now they have a tough schedule.
Always
They
do.
got 7 top 25 ranked teams left on their schedule, and 1 South Carolina. So that's 8 teams they have quite a tough ass schedule to play to finish out here to make it into these playoffs. But for right now, with what they're doing, the way this team, Marcel Reed, A&M, up 6 spots at 10, what a great team.
Yeah. I mean, we've never said anything but A&M's a good football team. They're playing like it. We'll see what happens with them as well. My number 10 is Illinois. They'd be higher if it weren't for them playing kind of a weak schedule. They did absolutely smack around Duke, who I think is a decent team, although Duke lost again yesterday to Tulane. But, Illinois beat them up. And I think Illinois, with the senior leadership, the veteran leadership that team has, the best offensive line in the country, a darn good quarterback, and a lot of players that just want to play, Illinois is number 10. They're going to be a problem all year long. You can say bad schedule all you want. I don't want to hear it. Okay? Because what you think their schedule is right now doesn't mean a hill of beans. Don't.
So let me retract a little bit here. Texas A&M, I went with the wrong team. They had 4 ranked top 25 teams, plus they have Florida and South Carolina on there. So it ended up being like 6 ranked teams.
Yeah, they still got a tough
for Texas
schedule.
A&M.
Yeah, they
what
still
a
have
tough
a tough
schedule. Number 11, Oklahoma, up 2 spots, undefeated. Now this was the team that has 7 ranked games left, top 25 teams, plus South Carolina. Oklahoma's got a nasty, tough schedule coming up. John Mateer, can he keep that magic going? Is this the Heisman front runner right now? He looks amazing. Can he keep that magic going at, being the number 11 in the playoffs?
We'll see. My number 11, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech.
Nice.
Sorry. You may not like that. I don't care. Georgia Tech deserves that spot. And you know what? They'll give anybody a run. They might. I'm not saying they'll beat everybody. They'll play everybody tough. Georgia Tech's number 11. We'll see what happens. The ACC is looking a lot more like a conference that we should keep an eye on.
Yeah.
They're starting to grow. So
I agree. A panel would look at their schedule and say, hey, this team has done more with that schedule that they have. And they are a team that's deserving to be looked at in the top 12.
Yes.
I agree. Number 12 in the AP poll, Iowa State. Iowa State moved up 2 spots. They're 4-0. They've beat Kansas State. They beat Iowa.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had some battle tests going on.
Yeah.
Iowa in the Big 12 had the rest of their schedule's cake. They have 0 top 25 teams right now ranked in there, so that bodes well for them to maintaining where they are while other teams pick them place off. Iowa State could win that Big 12 and get in there.
They could, and I like Iowa State. Here again, the Big 12 doesn't have a lot of ranked teams because right now it's a train wreck.
Oh, it's
but
a
as
train
the
wreck.
season progresses on and teams play, it's funny how we don't give certain teams the benefit of the doubt like we do. Oh, Alabama, everybody wants to rush them back in the top 5. You know, my number 12, I got a tie because I couldn't make the difference here. I have Auburn. And Texas Tech is a tie for number 12. I couldn't split the hairs.
Yeah.
I like Texas Tech better, but I think
Yes.
Auburn has accomplished a little more with the schedule they played. Both these teams are teams to watch out for. Auburn's obviously in that SEC a much harder path, but you can't count them out. And Texas Tech went out and did all that work in the preseason, and they're in the Big 12, which right now is a train wreck. And I think that conference is theirs to take. But, Iowa State's going to be a tough team. Iowa State's like a Georgia Tech type team. That's what I see as my top.
Yeah, that's good. Well, that's going to do it. Please like, subscribe. If you enjoy any of this, you like it, just hit the like button, subscribe. That's easy. That's fun. We enjoy college football. We're doing this because we love it. I'm not getting paid. He's not getting paid. We love doing this because college football is probably the most truest sport out there. These are young kids working as hard as they can to prove something.
Yes.
They love it. We love it. And just like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Hit the button. We'll see you next week.
Peace.